What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another video today. This is going to be a video I've been wanting to make for quite some time, but I couldn't because I just kept playing this game and I couldn't put it down. Today, we're going to be talking about Antonblast. This is a game I was waiting for 2024. Now, it's 2025 at the time it's recording this, so I may be late to the party, but better late than never. I wanted to beat this game for a reason. I couldn't get a video out sooner because holidays, you know? But now is the perfect time for me to say how much I adored this game. And I don't really talk about indie games as much, and I really should. So I guess first indie game I'm talking about on the channel, kind of. So yeah. Anyway, I guess technically I did a short of Annalyn, but that was about it actually. So yeah. But what do I think of Antonblast? Time to find out. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with the plot of the game, shall we? Now, I guess I should explain the development with this game is very, very long, honestly. There was, like, demos, and they showed, like, I guess I should also bring up, Anton, I forgot what it's called. It's like one with, like, a pinball, Anton Ball, or something. I forgot what it's called. Anton Ball, yeah, that's what it's called, which also had Antonblast. Sort of was like an early thing at the time, and honestly it was pretty nice for what it was. So I wanted to mention that game, Anton Ball Deluxe, that's what it's called. I just looked it up, so there you go. So I wanted to give a shout out to that, and yeah, now let's talk about how much I adore it. Alright, Antonblast, here we go. The story starts off with the evil Satan, that's how you say his name, basically causing chaos yet again, while Anton and his roommate Annie were chilling at their place, but of course something goes on. And it's up to both of them to stop this madness. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly explain the plot. Now, I guess I should mention how the gameplay functions, considering I know I'm gonna get some people in the comments talk about this, because considering I haven't made a video on one particular indie game I want to talk about this year as well. So first things first. This game is inspired by a particular Nintendo series, Wario Land. Well, specifically just Wario Land 4. If I'm gonna say this right now, if you're looking for a Wario Land game like these, Wario Land 4 is like the closest, honestly, if I'm gonna be real. But that doesn't mean the others are bad, by the way. If I'm comparing a real game to an indie game, I'm sure no one's gonna be interested, so I'm not that type of person, just letting you know. But I just wanted to bring it up, considering that this game takes inspiration from Wario Land, but there also is some elements based on Crash Bandicoot, and of course, like, you know, other 2D... also just that difficulty, like, also Crash Bandicoot, because Crash Bandicoot is kind of difficult. Those are like the two games that kind of inspire, you know, if you know what I mean. There's a difference between, you know, taking inspiring and then saying, oh, it's just a straight up copy. Because if you call it a copy, then you know you're not talking about the game, right? So yeah. Anyway, but of course, the common one I say is the most popular of the bunch is Pizza Tower. Now, I haven't really talked about Pizza Tower on the channel. I do want to make a video on that game as well. But just to let you guys know, I'm not one of those who thinks it's a copy or whatever, one or the other. If anyone is like that in the comments, I think y'all don't get pizza time. You do not get pizza in the slightest. There you go. If you care about pizza. But seriously, I will never compare Antonblast and Pizza Tower in a negative way. Unless you're respectful about it, that's a different story. So yeah. Anyway, but I just want to mention you guys, so I'm probably not going to mention Pizza Tower as much in this, but don't worry, I'd rather save that for his own video. Anyway, alright, now we can talk about Antonblast. So the gameplay is a 2D platformer with inspiration from Wario Land. You jump and you swing your hammer when you're going up and down to bounce off enemies. And there's also charging. If you time the button right, you can charge through enemies just like, you know, charging through like in Wario. So, and basically, the whole gimmick is explosion and combo system, getting a bunch of points. And that's pretty much what this is. This always felt so satisfying to do. See how many points you can get? If you don't get like an amazing score or something, you can always try again and go back for more. And you just remember the level layout. And the level, speaking of the levels, man, I can say right now that the level design is amazing, honestly. And I gotta say, it's probably, some of them are, whoa, this is kind of neat, honestly, cool gimmicks. And then some of them are like, what the hell is this? This is a nightmare fuel right here. Okay, not really, but yeah. But I can definitely say right now that the level design really shines in my opinion. And I honestly wasn't sure if the controls would be for me, especially when I played the demo. I wasn't used to the hammer swinging, but once you get the hang of it, it feels super satisfying to do. And also just having some 90s vibes and cartoony sound effects, and oh my god, the vibes is just there. I'm not even a 90s kid. I'm literally a 2001 kid, but man, I just feel that energy considering that how much I've grown up with. Now, yeah, I never really grew up with many 90s platformers, minus some Mario games, obviously, and Donkey Kong, and of course, well, not DK, I only grew up with Returns, but you get what I'm saying. Like, the vibe is just there considering how much older platformer games I played, honestly, and just feels so satisfying, honestly, to play. And the soundtrack, oh man, that soundtrack really gets you pumping, especially when you open the game, that title screen. Oh, it's just magnificent. That soundtrack just goes hard, honestly, and I can definitely confirm it's that good, honestly. And I can just listen to most of it, honestly. So, of course, every level, if you just notice in the gameplay right now, each level has a what they call a timer, aka it's happy hour. Basically, you run to the back, you run all the way back to the beginning to make sure you don't run out of time and you get a game over. So yeah, they have that type of gimmick, and man, it's a sense of urgency you have to do. I always love these types of things. They do this in Wario Land 4 and Wario Land Shake It, and they of course are doing a Pizza Tower. And I honestly love these types of segments. And I know running back through the beginning level may not sound fun on paper, but in this game's and also Wario Land's case, I say they handle it pretty well, honestly, without making it too boring. You got introduced to different gimmicks and also different collectibles you get throughout the game. You get spray paint and a bunch of other collectibles. You can change your outfit. And of course, you can scream in this game. Hold the taunt button, the ZL button. I played this on the Switch, and although at the time I played it, it wasn't the greatest, I'm sure there's a patch right now that fixes all the issues. So there you go. You can scream with the ZL button. You can make Anton or Annie scream, and yeah, that's just the highlight right there. So yeah. Now I guess I should mention. As much as I love Antonblast, I guess I should mention the difficulty may depend, especially with the boss fights, but god, the bosses are honestly so unique. And I just like, whoa, this boss like goes crazy. Like, the amount of like unique stuff I've seen with the bosses really shines, honestly. The bosses have a unique vibe with them, how they kill them and do damage. And the difficulty, while very difficult, it does still feel very satisfying to do. No lies, I generally had trouble with some of the boss fights. And some pretty close calls, honestly. So yeah, there are some transformations, of course, you get throughout the game. Some of them are cool, some of them are, I'm gonna be real, one of them is like really annoying to control. I don't want to say too much for spoilers' sakes, although this is a game that just came out. Normally, if a month passed, I think it's okay to talk about spoilers, really. But for the sake of this, I'll leave it up to you guys for that. But considering how much, I guess I never talk about the art style, and like the style of this game is just amazing, honestly. I just love the way it looks. Just fits that old retro vibe of a platformer, and that's why I really adore this game, honestly. Now, like I said, I haven't really talked about indie games on the channel. Some of my favorites come to mind are Pizza Tower, obviously, A Hat in Time, Celeste, Annalyn, Shovel Knight. Kind of, I need to play through Shovel Knight, honestly. I've only played a little bit of it right now, but there are some indie games I played through. And of course, Antonblast might be one of my top favorites that I'm not sure if it'll get much talked about in the future. I'm sure it will, but who knows, honestly. Oh, Bug Fables is a banger, too. But Antonblast, I don't know if it's my personal favorite, but god, it's definitely the most satisfying one I've played, honestly. One of the best video games I've ever played. Now, it could be relevancy biased, but I don't think it will be relevancy biased in this case. This is seriously one of the best games I've ever played, honestly. So yeah, I'm glad I got to, talk about this game for you guys, considering that I didn't even talk about this game much, and yeah, it's really fun. So, yeah, Antonblast is an easy 10 out of 10 game. Yeah, freaking 10 out of 10 game. I'm not gonna spoil the rest of the game or the ending. Y'all are gonna have to figure that out all by yourself, honestly. And yeah, it's just such a good game, man. It's so good. So yeah, get this game on any PC, Switch, whatever you can get it on. It's generally one of the best platformers, honestly. So yeah. Alright, and that's it. I finally got to talk about the indie game on channel. Like I said at the end of 2024, I want to start talking about different platforming series, and that counts indie games I really want to talk about, which I just mentioned. So I definitely want to talk about more. And yes, one of them will be Pizza Tower. I promise y'all I'll play that game. I'll talk about that game. So yeah. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you played Antonblast in any capacity, what are your thoughts on it? And are you planning to play it anytime soon? Let me know in the comments below. Later, folks.